Facebook.com/TBGunslinger, Twitter @JohnReinott. This is another Sports Day in the D Short. It is September 1st, 2017. It is 1:40 in the morning. And this is a follow-up video to what I initially released on Facebook Live to test out the camera. Again, I apologize to all of you that had listened to me initially as I was trying to follow the information that was breaking on Twitter. Whistler 97 won the ticket, and it's all my fault for uploading it and not getting everything else fact-checked in the first place. That's why I'm not a professional, folks. But 1:40 in the morning, it is official now. After Justin Upton has been dealt to the Los Angeles Angels, now Justin Verlander is a Houston Astro. The 11:50 deadline has passed from August 31st. These guys are eligible for the postseason, and now it's time to start a new era in Detroit Tigers baseball, and that era is going to be banging our head against the wall for about 5 years, at least. Facebook.com/TBGunslinger, Twitter @JohnReinott. Big moves today. And I do have to give credit to where credit is due, regardless, again, of everything else that had happened, whether or not who got the right end of the deal, whether or not who got the players that they wanted to get. I still have to give Al Avila full credit in getting the moves done. Being able to get Justin Upton dealt, being able to get Justin Verlander dealt. I was hoping that it could be at the deadline in order to get more prospects, in order to get more cachet, get things set more for the Tigers, so going forward things would be all right. It doesn't seem to be that way. I'm not certain as far as Perez or the pitcher or anything else that the Astros have given to the Tigers or any players to be named later for the Angels, but the money's officially off the books for the Tigers, and that's a good thing. So big deals have been done today. And quite frankly, the only other player I can think of that could have been dealt was Ian Kinsler. Whether or not he was going to the Brewers or the Dodgers or anything like that remained to be seen. He's still going to be a Detroit Tiger for the while. But Justin Upton and Justin Verlander are gone, folks. Facebook.com/TBGunslinger, Twitter @JohnReinott. What do you think? Because it's easy to say right now, but I'm going to say it again because I know a lot of you guys are thinking it. An era of Detroit baseball. I know that they've seen 2 World Series in 06 and 12, and it was a lot to like. I know they never finished and gotten the big prize. And Mike Ilitch, whether or not he went to go get some of these big boys, to get Prince Fielder, David Price, and all of that, whether Dave Dombrowski officially when he was here, whether he signed off all those check boxes or not, it's hard to say that Tigers baseball wasn't exciting for a lot of us during that time. And when Justin Verlander was brought up in 06 as a rookie, when he was able to pitch in the World Series against the St. Louis Cardinals, you think, damn, this kid's got a bright future. And it's a shame. It really is a shame to me to think about that Justin Verlander doesn't have a title here. And it really hurts, considering I know Curtis Granderson, like I said a lot of times, was my favorite player for a Detroit perspective for pretty much all the teams across the board. And when you think about it, Justin Verlander, I'm sure, was a favorite player for a lot of you because he pitched his ass off every 5th day, and he brought it. Even when he was throwing 101, he couldn't really locate all that stuff at the beginning. He was able to make adjustments. He threw in a dominant curveball, a good off-speed pitch. He was able to pretty much go out there, throw 110, 115 pitches, go out there and demand Jim Leyland leave him out there, demand Brad Ausmus leave him out there, and leave it all out on the diamond. Leave it all out there for the Tigers to be able to sacrifice day in and day out. Yeah, I understand. He's got a really nice car. He's got Kate Upton. He's got all that cachet, all that love, all that excitement. But you know what? I really thought he gave his all for the Detroit Tigers. And it's going to suck not having Verlander around. But it was the right move for the Tigers to make because, again, like we said, all that money is going to get taken off the books. And all that's remained now is Ian Kinsler, Victor Martinez, Anibal Sanchez. There might be a couple other big things here and there besides Cabrera. I don't think Cabrera is going to have any possibility of getting moved. But whether it be, like I said, Martinez, Kinsler, or Sanchez, whether or not any of that stuff can get off the books in the following year, that would be nice. I'd like to see Miguel Cabrera get to be a DH. again full time, because I don't think that there's any way that he's going to not have a little bit of a resurgence again. He's going to have a little bit of that again. He's not going to fall as much as he did. I wouldn't think so. But you're going to pretty much be stuck with Cabrera and Zimmerman. But the rest of that is going to change because Verlander's not here. And there's a lot to be said about whether or not what you think this Tigers team is going to do within the next 5 years, because it certainly seems like everything is going to be in the basement. But again, I got to give credit to where credit is due. Whether or not Avila could have got more at the deadline prior when it happened, you're getting this stuff done at the waiver deadline. The moves had to be made. They were made. Avila made them. I have to give him credit at least for that. Like I said, I had to delete everything else in that false information. All the stuff from earlier, trying to break all the official information, whether or not that Verlander was going to get dealt or not. But the moves were made, and they were necessary moves to make. And even though you might not want to not have Verlander here, I can understand there's guys of you out there, and even I have to think about it in terms of my rationalization of it. Yeah, it's the right move to make, but when I think about it, my heart says, wow, this sucks not being able to see Verlander pitch. It really does. Because you think about those World Series chances, the dude won a Cy Young and an MVP. He was a beast, an absolute beast. And pretty much the best Tigers pitcher I've ever seen in my lifetime. And you can make the argument that the guy's like the second best pitcher probably in Detroit Tigers history. I know he's not Clayton Kershaw. I know people, forgive me about that. It's not Clayton Kershaw with the numbers and all of that. But if I don't talk to you about the stuff I saw and what some of you guys have ever covered when I was working at the Oakland Press and all that, but the stuff I saw when Justin Verlander was taking on the Oakland Athletics in the postseason, it struck fear in Yoenis Cespedes. It struck fear in Josh Donaldson, Eric Sogard, and the rest of those teams. There was no way in hell that Justin Verlander was going to lose in the postseason to the Oakland Athletics. He put the team on his back time and time again, and even though he didn't get the ultimate prize that he wanted to get to, Justin Verlander is going to be forever loved in the Motor City. And a lot of you fans, you might feel a little disheartened, and I can understand that, because believe me, I feel the same way. And I think a lot of us that have followed the Tigers within this wonderful era of having Johnny Peralta and Carlos Guillen, Magglio Ordonez, Yoenis Cespedes, David Price, Doug Fister, Rick Porcello, Max Scherzer, Anibal Sanchez, all these fantastic players that have run around through Detroit within this last decade. Now that era is over, and now the ace of ace, the Tigers prospect in Justin Verlander in 06, my God, he's gone now too. I can't really believe it myself, and I know, like I said, part of me, I know it's the right move to make. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys right now that it's not. It's the right move for the Tigers to make. It's the right move for the Tigers to make to get rid of Justin Upton, but damn, it really feels like a dark day, but at least all the hang-ups from a couple hours ago, at least all that stuff was dealt. At least there's not any questions now about Al Avila and Justin Verlander and whether or not he had those right sense of teams, whether or not Chris Ilitch was holding it up. I don't know what was going on within the last 2 hours, and I would love to hear a clarification of that as we go along in the morning and everything else, but the dust is officially settled, and it's past. Justin Verlander is a Houston Astro. Justin Upton is on the Angels. Facebook.com/TBUGunslinger, Twitter @JohnRyanOtt. And again, like I said, I apologize for any false information that was given. Trying to break it at the time, listening to the ticket and following Twitter and all that stuff. It's hard to do all that stuff at the time. And I wonder how many of these guys actually end up deleting their tweets. Because I imagine that kind of stuff happens a lot too. And I wanted to mention before I go here that Facebook Live and all that stuff, it did work a couple of hours ago when I ended up trying it. I'm going to upload all the stuff to YouTube. That's why you see me using this stuff in here too. I'll upload it to Shout Engine so you can get the official audio. But next week, I want to start again the official running of Sports Day in the D as season is going to be kicking off. College football, it already broke starting today as Indiana had a little bit of an upset bid with Ohio State, and they closed it out in the second half. But what I wanted to do was start that up again, and officially next week on Facebook Live, after I get everything else, all the content ready for the show, I want to do a live show and interact with you guys. And it doesn't matter if it's one of you, 20 of you, however many there are. I'm going to see what you type in the box. I'm going to try to talk about it on the outsets. Probably won't be able to get to type in all that stuff because I'm going to have this audio thing here next to me. Maybe not. Maybe I'll set that on the desk next to me, and we'll see what ends up happening. But I want to try to interact with you live, deliver a show. Generally, the show is going to be about an hour, maybe 45 minutes to an hour. That's generally what I would upload when I did this stuff at Oakland University. So we're going to try to do that and do this live now because this Logitech camera seems to be working pretty good. The audio is a little bit muffled in terms of the camera, but when you listen to me talk through the microphone, I get everything else through the shout engine. You get the full aspect of what the sound should sound like. We're going to try to do everything live on Facebook Live next week for Sports Day in the D. Hopefully get everything else with WordPress going. So just my thoughts on the Verlander deal, on the Upton deal. What do you think now as Tigers era has officially ended? Justin Verlander is an Astro.